Welcome to another Lunch with the Doc, and I am at one of my favorite places now. It's the beach first. That's Oak Street, and we are at the new Oak Street restaurant. Show them the logo. Again, it's in the sun. It's in the sun. And I brought a couple friends of mine. This is Pastor Jeff Tacklind.
Hi.
You probably see him at Oak Street. He's kind of a fixture here. He serves here quite a bit. And then we also have Greg with us today. And Greg, I haven't surfed with you. You surf?
I haven't surfed.
Okay.
I don't surf.
No wonder we haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
And my lovely daughter, Maria.
Hello, everyone. Welcome
And
to
who's the
another.
camera guy? So we were thinking about a topic for today, and we started thinking about something like taking care of your temple, rebuilding your body, construction with something that has great value, which is really each one of us, our lifestyle, our quality of life, our activity levels, the things that we love to do that bring us joy, that help us feel like life is working for us, brings us an emotional feeling that feels good. Like you go for a nice hike or a nice swim or a good workout or a good surf or bike ride or whatever you like to do, that's what has value to us. Now she's going to take our order, so we're going to, she hid around the corner, okay. Maybe she's scared of cameras, but anyhow.
Kind of like you.
Yeah, I'm really scared of cameras. Go ahead. You want to come? Yeah.
Would anyone like something to drink besides water?
I'm good with water.
I'm good with water.
Water's good. Everyone good with water? Perfect. And then do you guys want to do any appetizers or need some time to get settled?
I think I know what I want. I don't know if you guys have figured it out yet. What kind of soup do you have today?
So for soups, we just have the tomato soup and then the oxtail onion soup.
Oxtail onion soup?
Yes,
Stop
it's like a
it.
French onion soup.
Oh my
It's really
gosh.
good. It's like cheesy.
Oh, the French onion?
Yeah. It's like oxtail French onion, but
You could do it without the large crouton. It'd probably be okay. I'm going to have a chopped salad with albacore.
Chopped salad with albacore.
chopped salad without the what?
With albacore.
What are you gonna get, Mom?
With albacore. Perfect.
Oh,
I think the little gem salad with some beef.
I'll second that. I'll do that.
Chopped salad with albacore?
Yeah, that looks really good.
You don't have to get a salad. You know, you can get some.
I'll get the little gem salad, but can you just add beets to that and tomatoes?
You got it.
Thank you. And cucumber too.
And cucumber?
Okay, do you have a recommendation on the tacos?
Ooh, tacos. I think the short rib tacos are really good. And and the pork belly. Octopus is, people like it, but I'm not really. It's more of a chewy thing.
You go
More of a
ahead.
chewy thing.
Short rib.
Yeah, sure. Awesome.
I heard the hot chicken sandwich is the best.
It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sold.
Hot
Is it-
chicken sandwich.
What would you like as a side for that? Do you want coleslaw, French fries, salad?
Ah, salad.
Salad? Okay.
So badly
perfect.
want to say French fries, but you know,
You.
it's those little things.
Trying to stay healthy. Little decisions
Awesome.
make a difference.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, you've been kind of doing some work on yourself,
I'm
haven't you?
doing
been
some
kinda
work.
Working on your own temple.
I have. Today is my 22nd day on my most all fruit diet. A little bit of raw vegetables at different points, so that's why today I'm getting the beet salad. But yeah, 22 days. I feel amazing. I'm just detoxing, cleansing, and
Taking herbs and
taking herbs, supplements, and I feel really good. You know, you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
So, been working.
Probably not
through-
too easy, huh?
No,
No. Just fruit.
just fruit. Watermelon, grapes, coconuts. You know, you're surprised at how many fruits there are and how much fruit is actually really good, and I feel pretty energized. But definitely like going to dinner with people, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna look at my plate. Just don't look at anyone else's plate. Just right here. But that's the piece that we want to talk a little bit about today is what it takes to really heal and what it takes to put in the work that you need for your body. And it's hard, you know, it's not easy to do the things sometimes that are best for us, but
Like ordering salad instead of French fries.
exactly, like look at Ryan, he's doing it today. And like, you know, when we want to get in shape, it's not easy. We have to put in the work. Sometimes the workout hurts, burns our muscles, but you know it's for the long-term gain. So that's what we're going to be talking a little bit about and giving you some tips and vision. And these amazing men have lots of good stuff to share with us. So we're excited to hear from their wisdom.
Well, Jeff, what do you have to add to that?
I think, so I'm a pastor by vocation. I think there's like so many parallels with health. But I remember when I started to see Gary, all I cared about was getting rid of the pain. In fact, he asked a question on the little form that you handed out to me, what do you want to see? And I remember writing, I don't want to have pain anymore in my neck and my back. And he said, it's too small of an answer. That, what is your vision? Where do you want to be on the other side of this? Do you want to surf better? Do you want to be able to play with your kids? Do you want to be able to backpack? And I remember filling out, all of a sudden realizing, oh no, there's so much more there that I want to do. Getting rid of the pain, I think, is a simple answer, and I think you could be tempted to medicate. But long term, it's not going to get you out there active and doing what you want to do. And that was huge for me. And I think being on the other side and being able to experience those things, you realize, the work is so valuable and isn't just for getting you out of the hard part, but really pushing you into the good stuff. So, yeah.
You've done a great job. Really a great job. I mean, your stick-to-itiveness, your determination that you're just going to stay the course, you're going to stay the course until you get it, is really to be admired. And it's something I think that's within all of us. But something has to trigger. Our why has to be big enough to actually change our behaviors. And unless your why is big enough, you're not going to change your behaviors. You're going to, like you said, self-medicate. And I remember the doctor that first helped me wrap my head around doing something more than just getting some temporary relief. He asked me, so what is it you want me to help you do? And I said, well, I want this pain to go away. And I had chronic neck pain, mid-back pain, horrible sinus problems. He said, so how long do you want that pain to go away for? A day, a week, a month, a year, forever? What is it you're looking for? I said, well, forever. I mean, when I ask patients that question, pretty much everybody says forever. And then why? What is it? What kind of value is it going to bring to you if you were to do that? How would that affect you? How would it affect the people that are close to you? Because right now, how is your challenge that you're going through, how is that affecting them? I mean, when you were hurting, how did your wife feel about it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it affects your patience with your spouse or your kids. It affects your willingness to be active and to just take part in life. You kind of, when you're in pain, I think you just withdraw and you avoid anything that's going to trigger. And so I think it's a very restrained form of living.
Yeah.
Where you lose out on a lot of things, and we settle for it.
My wife was the one who really kind of drove it home that I really needed to do the work to fix this thing once and for all, because she was the one who saw me suffering with horrible allergies and sinus problems and neck and mid-back, and it was just chronic. And once we finally found out what to do, and she goes, you have to do this. And, honey, I don't want to go into debt. It's like, look at your x-rays. Look at your symptoms. Aren't you in debt already? Isn't that the debt you'd rather work yourself out of? Even if it takes us 2 or 3 years to do it, well, let's just do it. I mean, when you buy a house, how long does it take to pay off a house? 30 years? But it has value, right?
Yeah, and you're changing the way you live, I think. You're shaping the way you live so that not only is the pain gone, but you're building a rhythm of life that I think just bears a lot of really good fruit. And the work is in there, but I think after a while, the work is something that you take pleasure in. It's like anybody that's a runner will say, you'll eventually get to a place where you enjoy the feeling. Even if it's a form of pain in a sense, that exhaustion, there's such a good feeling to being exhausted. But at first it just hurts. You've got to work yourself up to that position. And I think we live in a culture that is so wired towards immediate gratification. I think that's sometimes why we'll settle for painkillers, because we just go, well, the problem's gone, when really the underlying conditions are what need to be reshaped.
Yeah.
But that takes time. It's like planting a garden where you go, no, the fruit of this is sometimes months away,
right?
And we don't want to wait that long.
That's true.
But but there's value and there's greater. I mean, I think the quality of what you eat from your garden is so much higher than what,
True.
yeah.
True. Why don't you film Ryan this, because I want to ask
Yeah.
him a question.
Me. Switching camera, people.
So, Ryan, I was just thinking about you as a little blonde, how when you were young, you were scared to go out in the water, but you started to, you knew you had to take kind of baby steps. So you rode the whitewater on your boogie board, and then you wanted to go a little bit past the whitewater that was right on the shore, and then you got out to where the lineup was at St. Anne's. I remember it was a big day, and you finally, for the first time, actually went out where the waves were breaking. And I remember watching you come down that big wave and just cut down the face and go to the side. And then after that, I said, "Okay, Dad, I'm done with the boogie board. I'm ready to surf." But I was thinking, as you look at that process through, then for you to actually be able to surf pipeline on a big day, on a professional surf contest, that it's not as though a person can go from a little boogie board in whitewater to being able to surf pipeline.
Sure.
Is there a little work involved in that?
Yeah, you could say that. Countless hours. I mean, learning the rhythms of the ocean, how it breaks, how it works, the tides, learning how to analyze reefs and how waves break and the different types of waves that there are, and then the ability to, once you figure that out, how to actually ride the wave, how to ride certain types of waves. Yeah, that's one of the hardest things when anyone learns how to surf. It's not necessarily surfing. It's first understanding the ocean, how to read waves, how to position, the timing, all of that. And that takes just simple ocean knowledge. And you can only attain that by being in the water.
How about reading the people that are in the water that are wanting the same waves?
Yeah, and it's also, yeah, exactly. There's a rule book, an unwritten rule book that goes into surfing that only comes about, that knowledge only comes from being in the water and being around other people who surf. Because if you go out there without any prior knowledge, you're probably going to get into a fight and probably get hurt if you go paddle out to a crowded place where there's a lot of good waves. So, yeah, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of dedication and it takes a lot of time. Because most people will tell you that it's one of the hardest sports in the world because you're dealing with an environment that's unstable and always ever changing. So it's not like skateboarding, which is extremely hard, but you can hit the same ramp over and over again, but a wave is always ever changing. So yeah, it takes work to get from beginner to an expert. I mean, it takes thousands of hours.
So, but what was the value to you? I mean, to actually start from there and then to take it to what you would say was the most incredible, what would you say was the most incredible value or surf experience or wave experience you ever had? Maybe the biggest, the gnarliest, or the biggest thrill you ever had?
Well, I think just being in perfect waves is the thrill. And what every surfer puts in that time for is to get that perfect wave, to get to a place where it's uncrowded, you're with maybe a couple friends and you're surfing perfect waves. So I guess for me it would be somewhere in southern Mexico, surfing with a couple friends, perfect 6 to 8 foot, right point rate that's sort of firing that you're alone. Yeah, I mean that's kind of that ultimate.
So there's a value.
There's the value.
So, Jeff, in terms of what you've seen in terms of value of all the work you've done, so tell me a little bit about the other side of being over it, because most of your work is done, and it hasn't, it's been a long road, but I mean, look what you've done, and now what you're enjoying.
Yeah. Well, I do think you're talking about living differently in the end, that it's not just enough to get treatment, it's something that has to become a part of your daily ritual. And it's worth it. I think it creates really healthy rhythms in our life, and I think it affects the decisions I make, what I eat. It's discipline to stay exercising and mobile and active, and it affects time spent stretching, time spent mentally creating headspace for myself and all that. And I think, what we've talked about, something that I've learned so much about is how tied into my physical health, my emotional health is. And to realize that takes a tremendous amount of work too. And I think that just as much we look for immediate answers to that instead of being willing to do the work. And I think that the work is hard to some extent, but what I find is like when we still to this day will meet about that stuff, I find myself approaching those times with anticipation because I know on the other side of it is greater freedom. And when you start to get a taste of what that feels like, you're willing to change your whole life around it. The pain is so valuable because you realize the pain is pointing you towards something that your body is telling you needs to be addressed, or your soul is telling you you need to address this. So I think the spiritual, the emotional, and the physical are all very important, are all part of how we're just so brilliantly put together.
I think back to carpentry, and I'm sure even a woman who's never done carpentry or just walks away from the kitchen after a big meal and the kitchen is perfectly spotless and clean, or the bed she's made, or the laundry she's put away for the family, that sense of accomplishment. Yeah, you did the work, but now look at the feeling that it brings up, that sense of accomplishment. That's what I always loved when I was doing carpentry. I'd walk away from the job site, and let's say we built a deck or put in a skylight. I walk away from it and going, yeah, it feels good. That's what I accomplished today. So it's kind of like each one of us have one house we get to live in. Like let's say, for example, we got this beautiful house, whether it's a Craftsman or a Victorian or what have you. But that's the only house you ever get for your entire life. How are you going to take care of that? Because you can't just go buy another one. You got to do the work to keep it in shape. Or if you get one car to drive your entire life, you know, some would choose a Maserati or a Rolls Royce or a Lincoln Continental Suburban. Maybe somebody likes a Pinto. I don't know. Maybe. But if you get one car, how are you going to treat that car? You can't get another one. You're going to be taking care of that thing. And that's really a similar project to taking care of our body. How many of you have remodeled a bathroom or a kitchen? Now, what do you have to do that? Well, you have to have a plan. You have to know what your square footage is, what appliances you want, where you're going to put your cabinets, and then you have to find the funding. You got to find that funding and figure out how am I going to pay for this, whether it's cash or on time, your home equity line of credit that you can pay off over 10 years, what have you. And then you have to get someone that you trust to help you do the work, unless you're going to do the work. So you got to find a good contractor, a good architect, and then you just basically got to show up and do the work. Or somebody has to make sure that the subcontractors have to show up and do the work. Now that's why I like working with Bill Dalkey. He's the one who did the remodel in here, this whole place.
Beautiful.
Bill Dalkey knows how to drive a team of subcontractors. So Bill's on the phone making sure that every subcontractor is in there at the point they're supposed to be to get the job done. He's the contractor that oversees the entire process. I haven't seen him wear his belt before and get out a nail gun or anything like that. He has people to do all that, but he's the one on the phone saying, you got to be here right now. You got to drop everything else. You're needed here, and he makes it happen. So sometimes we have to be our own contractor. We have to push ourselves a little bit beyond maybe our comfort zone, or we have to hire someone to help us, like a trainer. You know, people usually get better results when they have a trainer. I mean, you started working out with your wife, right?
She's my coach.
Yeah, and you guys push each other, right? Yeah. It always helps to have someone that you have to be accountable to. I had a dream 2 weeks ago, and I'll tell you what. Whoa! Look at my son's sandwich.
All right, hot chicken sandwich. Beautiful. Taco chopped with avocado.
Amazing.
And have some dressing on the side, maybe some seasoned
Dressing on the side? Yeah. Are you good to Caesar?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. I'll get some more water. Anything else I can grab?
I think that'll do it.
All right.
Looks beautiful.
Gorgeous. Look at that table.
So,
Yay.
2 weeks ago, I have this dream, and I'm the patient, and I can only assume that God was the doctor. So I'm sitting there, and I hear him as clearly as we're talking, Gary, if you want to fix your body, you got to do the work. So if I want to fix my body, I got to do the work. He goes, that's right, Gary. If you want to fix your body, you got to do the work. And that dream is what kind of started this whole conversation that we're having here today. And it made me remember a part in history of the Israelites when they had come back from Babylon. They had been in exile, and they had to basically rebuild Jerusalem and rebuild the walls and then rebuild the temple. So I woke up after I had that dream. I go, that reminds me of something in the Old Testament. I looked it up, and the prophet Haggai was instructed to tell the people, be strong, and work. For I, the Lord God, am with you, and rebuild my temple. So it does take work, but there's joy in work. You know, you whistle while you work. You know how that went. You know how it goes. You can whistle real light, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, it comes down to value. Do you value it enough to do the work, to pay for it, so you get to reap the prize? But you got to pay the price to get the prize. There's always a price to pay to get the prize, unless somebody just gives you something that you didn't have to work for at all.
Sometimes, like surfing analogy, you got to put in the work. You got to wipe out over and over and over and over again to get to that place where you could actually surf, right? Yeah. You want to get better from an ankle sprain, you got to do the rehab.
That's right.
And no one else can do that for you.
Right.
Don't you think too? I remember my wise friend Gabe Sullivan saying this to me as I was in the middle of figuring out. I've been writing a book and looking ahead and thinking, gosh, it'll be good to be on the other side of this. There's a sort of arrival at some point, and you go, except I don't know if there's ever that arrival. And he said, gosh, I think you're doing it right now. I think this is it. To be doing this work and putting it out there. This is good living. And I think that that's part of it too, is you realize in doing the work isn't just to get to the other side of this, but that you actually start to really savor the value of life when you're working hard, and the way that feels. And it's in a way, some of the work can be kind of its own reward.
Sure.
I guess it's just a word of encouragement. If you're, facing work that's ahead of you to do to get what you want, then just take heart. We all got to do the work to get what we want. We want to help people get what they want, and your why has to be big enough. So if you start thinking about, well, why would I want to do that work? Well, it's because of what you're going to get out of it and what you're going to enjoy and how you're going to make other people's lives. It's a trickle down. You start doing that kind of taking that action for yourself, and there's a trickle down that happens like dropping a rock into a pond. That's going to have ripples out, and you're going to probably inspire someone else just by how you're taking care of yourself. So take heart. We're here for you. We do have tomorrow night. Do you want to tell about that, Mo?
Yeah, sure. So tomorrow evening at 6:45 at our upstairs medical suite, we're doing a really amazing event. We're super excited. We're having Dr. Marcela Dominguez, our medical director, come and present. And she's going to do a seminar on cancer prevention and treatment. So she has her fellowship in integrative cancer therapies, and she just has a well of knowledge about both preventing cancer and living that preventative lifestyle, as well as how to do integrative cancer therapies and then combining that with conventional therapies or doing that on its own. And she just has a lot to share. So we do have some spots left for that event. So if you'd like to join, we would love to have you. We're going to have a light dinner provided. It is $15 to join. But you can just either go onto our website and look at our events page and sign up there. There's a spot to sign up, or call us at 949-497-2553. You can RSVP there as well, but we'd love to have you. It's going to be amazing. So for today, we just want to say thank you to Oak for having us. It's an amazing restaurant. Everyone's enjoying their food. It's good. So good.
Just got the first bites.
First bites. We want to
Go ahead, keep talking, Mo.
Keep talking. We want to thank Pastor Jeff for being with us. Thank you so much. It's been awesome. You have so much wisdom and just a cool story to share. It's really inspiring. And Greg, thank you for joining us as well.
Pastor Greg.
Pastor Greg. Everybody
PG
here.
and PJ.
Yeah. So remember, you are amazing. And we'll see you next Wednesday.
Perfect. So long.